good morning. Welcome into the channel. Always happy to have you here. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to be looking at your energy today via tarot, astrology, and mediumship. So let's get into it. I hope that you had a good weekend. When I'm recording, these are always timeless messages. Use your discernment. Always. But when I'm recording, just coming off of the weekend, we are in the waning phase of the moon cycle. And so it is this time to release, to let go. We're also at the tail end of Libra season. Libra is about partnerships, so it's been highlighting a lot of relationships and dynamics in our life. And we need to take that information and recognize the changes and adjustments that need to be made accordingly. We're moving into Scorpio season, and that's all about connecting with what we desire, making conscious decisions to change and transform your present circumstances so they're not repeated cycles and patterns. And I feel like today it's a lot about being able to use our wisdom and our intellect to make those decisions for ourselves. They don't always come naturally, and especially if we have been in a time or space where there's been a lot of heavy patterning playing out. Old patterning from, whether you want to say from childhood or past lives. A lot of that stuff is being brought up and triggered as Pluto moves into Aquarius, which it should do in about a month or so. It was in retrograde for the last 5 months, and now it has gone direct. And so we're going to start seeing those changes actually manifest. It's been a little bit of a waiting period, which is annoying, or I find annoying. But if you stay committed and focused, there are going to be rewards. There are going to be benefits. We'll start with this energy cleansing, set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any negative, blocked, unwanted energy. It's also a really good time for you to set your own intention. It's a great way to personalize this collective reading. I also do personal readings as well. So tarot, astrology, mediumship, and then energy healing and wellness consultation, a little mind, body, soul rebalancing. If you would like me to help, to support, I would totally be honored. Definitely hit me up. All that info is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, anger, pain, frustration, overwhelm, impatience. Cleanse it and remove it from our being. Help us to see what we need to see clearly, and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Okay. So not as much tension today, which is nice. It's been a little bit quiet on the astrology front lately, even though there has been a surge in water element, so connected directly to our emotions and feelings. And there is a little bit of tension against the moon today. It is in conjunction with Jupiter, which is in retrograde right now. So places that we're seeing some duality around our abundance, around our stability, our wealth, our money, the way that we earn that and keep it, we might be feeling a little bit untethered, especially if you're seeing things or situations come up that's not really how you want them to be, right? Finances are in focus because of that retrograde, but what I like about it is it's actually highlighting the places that we need to give a little bit more TLC. There is going to be a change in the trajectory of your wealth, of your abundance. Maybe not until after the beginning of the year when Jupiter goes direct. But this is the time where you're going to start seeing different opportunities present themselves, and making sure that those emotions don't weigh you down to the point that you're missing those opportunities because you're feeling a little apathetic or lethargic, or worst case scenario, right? Like it's never going to happen, or it's never going to come to fruition, or I was so stupid for thinking of this, etc. Try not to let those feelings overwhelm, because there still is some work in front of you today with the moon being square to Saturn. Saturn is what teaches us our lessons, and it's forcing us, or forcing you today, to come into your power a little bit more. Yeah, it's all about perspective. I really love that energy, especially as it relates to manifestation, because there's so many different perspectives that we can engage with and connect with that really do ultimately create our reality. Not only is it the people, the relationship choices that we make, the people we connect with, that's part of it, but it's also about how we're seeing situations. And I feel like there's a lot going on for you intuitively right now, especially with that water energy. And certain things are being blocked, certain things are being withheld from you right now. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. Again, it's a matter of perspective, number one. Understanding that this is a time of patience, that you do need to be committed to your path, so to speak. A lot of this is about your spiritual unfolding. So like I was saying, being a little more connected to your intuition, trusting yourself a little bit more, and having the awareness to kind of know when those disconnects are coming into play. When you are feeling triggered, or when you are getting into relationships, dynamics that you know are not going to serve you in the end, right? You're having these intuitive hints around those things, around these people, and specifically around certain patterning that you've had for quite some time, whether it's 10, 20 years or so, directly connected with that Pluto in Capricorn cycle. So there is something that's coming in that, okay, I feel like you've been expecting this. I feel like you're getting some type of clarity, some type of messages today. Like I said, it does feel like you have some awareness around it. Maybe nothing's happened like on the physical plane, i.e. in real time. It's been more in the energetic, like you're picking up, you're sensing into something that's coming into play. And it has been a little bit of a wake-up call. Not really what you expected. It's not what you, I should say, not what you wanted. The hints that you were getting before, I feel like they provoked a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety. And now you're kind of seeing the reality of that play out in real time, especially today. So King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay. Someone who wants to engage with you, someone who I also thought something was going to go a different way, thought that if they forced their agenda, thought that if they tried things in a certain perspective, that it would work out in their favor. But I do feel like they are seeing that things have changed. They've turned, and maybe anticipating a different response from you. Now they're not seeing that, and now they do have to adjust their perspective. I'm seeing they're feeling really left out. like not getting that response from you. They're trying to interact, they're trying to engage. And in fact, I feel like they're trying to like reconnect or get this dynamic out of you that makes them feel happy, that makes them feel fulfilled. Trying to switch the tone, but for some reason, you don't trust them. I feel like this person can be very hot-headed. They can react really quickly, and you feel that anger. It's like fine, and then an explosion. And now that I'm saying this, we actually saw this in the weekly reading, that we are going to be dealing with someone's intensity this week, and it is a little bit about preparing. So I'm seeing that you're not giving this person 100% what they want, and they're in their feels about it. They have a tendency to get really emotional. I do try, shoot. I'll just have to edit that out. I'm gonna take it. Sorry about that, microphone overboard. So I do feel like they try to hide their anger, their frustration as much as possible, but it always has a way of seeping out. So like I said, they feel like they're not getting the attention that they want from you, and it is making it's making them incredibly emotional. I feel like you don't want to deal with it. You know, you're tired of the back and forth. You're tired of the up and down. It also feels like it stresses you out a lot. And that's why you are taking a time out. You know, you're taking a few minutes today to think through things. You might have a conversation with this person. I'm not sure that they're brave enough to approach this because they're very afraid of your response. I feel like the way that they approach you is a little bit more indirect, trying to feel out the temperature, gauge your energy, see where you're at. You're not ready to respond. I feel like you're still just sitting and waiting to see what more unfolds. And honestly, it is a matter of time before this does come to head. Before this person, this King of Wands energy, is going to have to face the music. And you are just sitting and waiting. You're just sitting and waiting, not really making a lot of movements, in part because you don't really want to, right? You don't want to do this unnecessary fighting, get roped into something that feels like it's not even about your drama. It's not even, it's more about this person, their inability to manage themselves and their own emotions. And I feel like you get wrapped into it. There's also this King of Cups energy coming up for you, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Someone that's like waiting in the background. I feel this is more new opportunity. I feel like this is more of your wish fulfillment, what you've been trying to align with. Someone who understands you a little bit more or is more compassionate, kind of vibes in the same way that you do, especially on that emotional level. Like you guys just get each other, you understand each other, and there's a lot more acceptance with one another, where this King of Wands is very combative. Like I said, yes, trying to force their agenda 100%, but push the issue, like push you into dynamics that you really don't want to be a part of. And then I feel like they blame you on top of it when you're a little resistant or when you need to take a step back. And remember, Mars has been really heavily aspected. There's been a lot of tension. We're not seeing a lot of movement forward. So people are going to be getting pissed off about this, especially if there is this insatiable need to just keep forcing, make happen. Let that be their own karma. That's going to blow up in their face, but just keep it in mind for your own self. especially as you are navigating people, places, and things that are a little bit more on the emotional front or don't really have a handle. Like I said, a lot of this is about hurt feelings, not getting the response that they want out of you. And so they are trying to make plans. They're trying to figure out a way forward. And here's the thing. I think all in all, there's our Queen of Cups. There's your energy. So this is double confirmation on that new partnership that is coming in for you, that you can sense, that you can feel. And right now there is some cleaning up of the past or finding ways to engage, interact with these more intense situations, intense people in your life. But it is about simply making a decision, right? So it is about like, you do have to vibe in this King of Swords energy. As much as you might be able to pick up and sense what this King of Wands energy is trying to force on you, at the same time, it's not wisdom to put so much energy, time into it. It's not wisdom this week to, or today specifically, I would say, to try to get them to understand, to prove your point, to get them to listen, because they're just not on that wavelength. They're very much involved in their own self-interest and what's going on for them. And it's not as much about what you think and feel, it's more about their perception of the situation. And so if you try to engage, if you try to rationalize or ask them to see it from your end of things, you're going to get shot down, you know? Yeah, use your wisdom 100%. Use that wisdom from experience, what you have learned and known before about this dynamic, and then implement it, right? Sometimes we do have to take a beat and readjust our response, but we want it to be a response out of empowerment and not a reaction because we're pissed off or because someone doesn't understand. This Celebrate card is coming up a lot, and I do feel like moving through this dynamic is something to be celebrated for you, meaning that you've come a long way, you've come a far way, especially dealing with this individual. It's been very bittersweet. Yeah, there's been a lot of emotion, a lot of tears, a lot of pain, a lot of thorns in your side just to get here, just to learn the lessons. But it is looking like you are finally through this cycle. And I feel like it's something that is hard work well won. You know, you've really put your best foot forward, and maybe this individual, this situation doesn't understand it because they think that you should be beholden to them. But you've made a choice. You've made a choice in your own best interest. You had to make the most rational decision. And it's actually like honoring your spiritual empowerment in turn, which is super beautiful. There's a lot unfolding for you here that has a lot of promises. And it's promises that you want for yourself, right? It's the success, the fulfillment that you hope for, not someone else's that they're trying to put on you. So thank you always for tuning in, especially if you've made it this far in the reading. I super appreciate you always. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I love to hear, of course, but I also love to connect, share in a little love, little TLC. Thank you so much for all the blessings you bring to the channel. I super appreciate you. I'm sending those blessings back your way.